Okay, this is a reaction video. What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for? Well, I think there's quite a few adult problems that nobody prepared us for, but I'm kind of curious to see what these were. Now, you know, parenting, you can only do so much. Even uncling and aunting, you can only do so much. But let's see what these are.
What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for? I'll go first. Fruits and vegetables expire so fast!
Now, I knew that before I actually bought my first fruits and vegetables. I was well aware of that. But apparently, that information didn't get to everybody.
I will buy an avocado! And I won't even have time to eat it before it goes brown!
Why are you screaming at us?
Why?
Dear boss, I have an appointment Friday. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm going to need the afternoon off. I think I'm dying. Too dramatic. I'm gonna take a vacation. Vacation's for vacation. Hour-long appointment, but to make it up, I can work an extra 10. My doctor doesn't work. Evenings doesn't need to know that. I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna need to cancel my appointment.
You have.
Apparently, well, okay. Making appointments, going to see the doctor. Yeah, that would, yeah. Live and learn.
To actively live your life.
I thought we were doing that already, but okay.
Right? Is like, duh. But then it's also like, what? And then it's like, yeah, bitch, once you're done with high school and all that stuff, like, you have to actively move your life along. Your teacher's not going to be like, all right, this is your next task. All right, this is, no.
You know, I kind of knew that already, too.
You have to decide. You are your programmer. There's no one out there who is going to tell you what your next move is and whether or not it's good or right.
Oh, no, I disagree with that. There are people there that will tell you what your next move is, but whether you choose to follow them or not is your business. And I'll let you make your own determinations on that.
Right? Or if you get an A or a B or an F or whatever. Now you're your own measurement. You're your own measure of success. You're your own measure of failure. You're your own measure of embarrassment. It's all up to you now. I didn't get that.
It's amazing nobody told him that till now.
Adult. That's the adult problem no one prepared me for. Just assumed adults knew what they were doing. I didn't realize that it was just an age requirement, and when you got there, you'd have no idea what you were doing. We all just pretend we know what we're doing, and then we joke about not knowing what we're doing.
Man, it makes you wonder, some of these people, what were they told when they were growing up? My parents told me, and my grandparents told me, everybody told me you're going to have to make your own decisions in life, and things were going to be up to you. And I knew that pretty early. I know a lot of people who knew that pretty early.
Being an adult is literally only an age requirement. And even then, some of us don't act like an adult.
Well, there's some people who don't act like an adult, and they'll never will act like an adult.
Being an adult. Oh, and taxes. Something else.
Yeah, you better know about taxes.
Else that they teach us nothing about, but we are required to do.
Being alone, man, and I don't mean that in like some weird metaphor. I mean, I am literally by myself 95% of my day. I was shy and introverted growing up, so I didn't need a lot of social interaction to be happy. But if somebody were to explain to me that I'd be by myself this much, I would have went to way more parties. First off.
Oh, yeah. By yourself, yeah, you are generally by yourself most of the time. Even if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're not going to be with them all the time, except when you're on vacation and things like that, and your family goes their separate ways. Yeah, you're going to be alone.
If I work in customer service, so I sit in a cubicle by myself and get cursed out by a person that I've never seen about a
Not everybody curses you out in customer service. Some people do. Most people are friendly.
Software that I didn't invent. Then I come home from that and maybe spend 30 seconds with my wife because we have conflicting schedules, and then she has to go to sleep. Then you got my handful of friends who the majority of them have kids now, so we can't hang out, and they would kill to have my problem, but the fact remains they still got a tiny person in the room, and I have nobody.
If you want somebody, you can talk to your wife about that.
Then you factor in a global pandemic that has adjusted our society to
Well, the pandemic's over now.
the point where we can get everything that we need without leaving the house. I pressed my phone a couple times, and in 20 minutes, I got a burrito bowl sitting on my porch. I didn't even see the person that left it there. So anyway, you want to hang out?
Few things.
I'm not sure I want to hang out, but hey, hopefully you'll find somebody you can. I mean, obviously it's not going to be your wife. It doesn't look like you have a little person to hang around with, and your friends have their own little people to hang around with. So, hey, I don't know where you live, so I can't hang out with you.
One, scheduling my own doctor's appointments
Yeah, I know that can be a pain to schedule. It's such a difficult task too.
because, like, I'll call sometimes and I'm like, "Hi, is this a hospital?" And they're like, "Who are you?" And then
Usually, you know who you're calling before you actually push the numbers. At least I do.
I hang up because I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And then also like dinner, right? Like I have to actively know how to make more than 3 things because I have to make my own dinner every night until I die. And I can't just be eating spaghetti and peanut butter sandwiches. I think
Why not?
that might shorten my lifespan.
You don't know that.
Also medicine, right? When a doctor prescribes you something to take, and it's like, take 2 of these like every 6 hours. I'm like, okay, cool. I
It even says so on the bottle sometimes.
heard that, right? But I still need to like ask my parents just to make sure. I'm like, hey, like I'll try to do it like slightly. I'll be like, oh yeah,
If your parents didn't set you up for life, you can go back to them and ask them, and maybe they can fill you in on these things.
the doctor says to take 2 of these every 6 hours. Does that sound right? Like, is that
Well, are they doctors?
right? And my parents are like, do you not know? I'm like, can you tell me? Because I'm scared.
Oh, hey.
That is rather interesting. I mean, that's completely. I've seen that guy before, and talk about customer service and other different things. Apparently, he has 2 degrees as well. But I feel bad for him. He has a lot of problems.
You have to plan to hang out with people before you know you want to hang out with them.
Okay.
Hear me out, friends. Yeah, you need to get on their schedules weeks, months in advance. There are things that have to be negotiated.
Not necessarily. If I want to hang with one of my friends, I'd usually just call and say, "What are you doing?" Nothing. Okay, let's go. And some of them are married. Some of them have kids. It's just like, hey, you want to hang? Yeah, let's hang.
Childcare, businesses, family obligations, other people they're also hanging out with. It literally will not happen on its own. If by some miracle you do actually get to hang out with each other, you would better make sure that there is a date on a calendar before the evening is over. Otherwise, you're 3 weeks out. The amount of texts back and forth to try to get a hangout. Oh, you're bored on a Saturday? You're a month behind.
I have
Damn, people have a lot more problems than I do.
to figure out what to eat 3 times a day, every day. For
You didn't know that you had to plan your breakfast. Well, you don't have to have breakfast. You don't have to have lunch. You don't have to have dinner. It's up to you. You don't have to. Welcome to the world, people.
the rest of my fucking life. That shit gets tiring.
I'm only 20 years old and I'm having an existential crisis. I think the moment I learned about capitalism and that it's inherently rooted in colonialism, race.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, keep believing that stuff. Keep believing that stuff. You're in for a very, very well-adjusted life. I never dug that deep into capitalism. I just knew that when it come to capitalism, if you want something, you go and you buy it, you pay for it, you take it home and you use it. Okay? That's as deep as I go. That's as deep as I want to go. But if you want to go deeper into it, then be my guest.
Racism and exploitation of labor.
Yeah, keep going.
That is when I start to question all my life goals. I'm in college, I'm going to get my degree and get a job.
Do yourself a favor, okay? Don't listen to your professors, okay? Live your own life, make your own choices, and don't let their crap lead you where you think you need to go. Make your own decisions.
But is that all there is to life?
No, life is what you make out of it. Okay, that's that's up to you. Okay, that is up to you.
I want to do so much with my time on this earth, but I'm limited by capitalist ideologies.
No, you aren't limited by capitalist ideologies, okay? Grow up. Look, with all due respect, people, anybody who looks and listens to this nonsense, okay, look, I grow up, live your life, and just be what you want to be. And don't let what anybody is telling you bring you down, okay? If you've made it this far as she has, don't let those things bother you. Now you say, well, you're not this, you're not that. Who cares, okay? I know a lot of people who aren't this and aren't that, and they're doing just fine too. Just live your life.
It's really fucking with my brain. I can't stop thinking about it. Our time on this earth is finite, and we're choosing to spend our time doing things that we hate. Because capitalism tells us that's what we should be doing. This can't be the only way of living.
Yeah, girl, if I were sitting next to you right now, the only thing I would say to you is just live your life, okay? Do what you want to do what makes you happy, and then go and then move forward. That's how the rest of the world does it. Okay, if you want to, bring yourself down by worrying about capitalism and what capitalism teaches, and capitalism does this and that, please.
This is gonna be good. You only date within your economic class. Cinderella story never happens. Partying turns to substance and alcohol abuse within most of your friends if they don't stop it until they're 30, 32.
Well, not always, but it can happen.
You can look weird, act weird, and talk weird as long as you're making money, and normal people will still respect you.
Not necessarily. They may not. They may still. Well, maybe they will. I don't know. I don't look at it like that, but okay.
Nobody ever really grows up and changes. They learn to mask most of their shitty personality traits.
Well, everybody has bad personality traits, and yeah, you do learn to mask them, but it's not the end of the world.
Compatibility is way more important than infatuation in relationships.
Not compatibility, but I know what you mean. Compatibility is way more important than infatuation. That's true. If you're dating, if you find someone, so attractive that you want to just go and have sex all the time, but you're always constantly telling each other that you're jerks and morons and constantly apologizing to each other, that's not going to work. But if you get along with the person, you never fight, you never argue, and they may not necessarily be the person that you find perfectly attractive, there's some good things to be said about that too. Now, some of us are lucky that they have compatibility and infatuation, but yeah, I can understand that.
It's really hard to find, make, and maintain friendships.
Not that difficult. Not that difficult. You have to give of yourself.
Most of the people,
and sometimes you have to ask them to give of themselves too, but I've never had problem making friends.
People around you at some point will start hating novelty and change, and they will admit to it and be proud of it, and that's infuriating. A lot of people pretend to be experts and know what they're doing when they're not.
Well, that's being fluent in BS, okay? And yeah, that's true. A lot of people do pretend to be experts in what they are doing, but they are not. And that's where YouTube comes in, because YouTube will help you fix so many things. There are so many ways that YouTube can help. That's how I learned how to snake my toilet. That's where I learned how to change the battery in my my key when I had it wasn't unlocking and unlocking. So yeah, that's where YouTube comes in.
Every time I drink coffee, I'm gonna freaking get diarrhea.
Then don't drink coffee.
Quality throw pillows are really fucking expensive.
Then don't buy any.
Rugs are also very fucking expensive.
Then don't buy any.
That you need to clean the filter in the bottom of your dishwasher.
I knew that.
That you need to replace the filter in the top of your fridge.
I knew that too.
That you are literally going to do a load of laundry every day for the
Not every day, but I do my laundry every third day. But yeah, you'd have to do it. I knew that.
rest of your life, and it doesn't stop.
Yeah, I knew that.
That in the adult world, $1,000 is about the equivalent of 20 when we were a kid. Power washing is simultaneously the best and the worst thing all at the same time. That depending on the career path you choose to take, college is literally a waste of time and money for
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
a solid 50+% of people. How quickly fruits and vegetables expire.
Somebody, you should have talked to the other guy who was yelling at it. He was screaming that he didn't rip out his avocado. But yeah, I knew that. A lot of the stuff I knew. I'm surprised that nobody prepared these people for these things, because I knew these things. And tell me if you weren't prepared for any of this stuff, because like I said, we all have different problems growing up. We all have different opinions growing up. And, you believe you're your own person. You've got to survive. And some of this stuff you just have to figure out on your own. But I was prepared for a lot of this stuff.
Taxes are hard and they suck.
Yeah, that's true. They are hard and they suck, but there's something that has to be done every year.
Having a pet is really like having another child.
Again, I knew that.
It's no wonder our parents always said, being tired literally all the time. All the time.
Your romantic relationship.
Yeah, I mean, look, apparently I don't know if she was handed everything and everybody did everything for her. But yeah, welcome to the real world. I mean, and most of you people, I'm sure, knew this, but it's these people, for whatever reason, didn't know this.
Relationships in your 20s are just a reflection of your parents' relationship, and you're attracted to partners because they feel like home, but perhaps.
Well, I don't know if I go that far.
Perhaps home.
But maybe some people do. I have heard situations where people got into relationships because they reminded them of home. So it's not,
wasn't the best place for you, but it's familiar, and so your subconscious mind, the mind that develops between 0 and 7 years old, seeks out what's familiar so it feels safe.
Familiarity is something that some people do seek out, some people don't.
Even if the situation isn't safe.
A lot of these things, when you watch these things, something people need to explain to other people that, not everybody looks at things the same way you do. As you're growing up, you make up your own minds about certain things. You don't always get along with your parents. You argue with your parents. That's natural. Everybody does that. It's like what Mark Twain said. Yeah, I believe it was him. He said, "It's amazing how stupid my parents were at 18 and how smart they became when they were at 25. It's the same thing here. Not everybody has these problems.
And these relationships just cultivate so much self-awareness, but that's not what you think is going to happen when you get into the relationship. You begin to see patterns that you've inherited from your parents, like victim-perpetrator complex, lots of dark shadow stuff for real. Taking things personally, making assumptions, but then you get to the root of it, again, the subconscious mind, and you understand that the only reason you're having emotions is because of a limiting belief that you have.
Wow, she has really put a lot of thought into this, hasn't she?
So then you undo your entire psychology and have to rebuild it again?
I never did any of that stuff, but hey, if you really dig down deep into it, I guess maybe we'd all be doing something like that, but no, sure she is. And, and what do you do to help solve this problem? Do you sit down and talk to a friend? Do you talk to your family members? What do you do you post it on TikTok. That's what everybody, I guess, does nowadays. Yeah, I mean, that was some interesting stuff there. What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for? Now, a lot of these things I was prepared for when I became an adult. Didn't mean I handled it correctly, but I knew about it. I knew there were certain things that you were going to have to do. And I don't know if this is because it's a generational thing. I'm in my 50s. These people that we're talking about seem to be in their 20s, and maybe they weren't prepared for them. But yeah, I knew this stuff. But hey, I hope they're adjusted. I hope they understand it, and hope things work out for them. But hey, interesting things. Thanks for watching. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day.